Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome to this course. Welcome. It's not easy work. And here you are, you've signed up for it, you've invested your time and money into it. And so, I just want you to take a couple of breaths here to notice, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And that's a really big thing. So, I'm just saying, I see you on that, right? Already signing up for a course such as this one says that you're being mindful. You know that you've got some blame. You know that it doesn't feel good to you, and you know that you want to work through it. So that's a huge thing. In our first call, we talked about mindfulness. What is it? What is it to be mindful? And you defined it for yourself, what it means for you to be mindful. We also talked about the idea be careful what you think. You are what you think you are. We talked about the idea that some philosophies believe that a thought becomes a word, right? A word becomes an action, and an action becomes our character. So they say, be careful what you think. It becomes who you are. We also talked about that every emotion that we feel, every single emotion, anger, resentment, blame, sadness, joy, love, all the emotions come from not life, but what we think about life. So, in other words, every single emotion that we feel is coming from the way we think about something happening, right? So, a thought is just a sentence in our brain. And if we think that sentence in our brain again and again and again, it then becomes a belief. And those beliefs are really hard to sort of scrape out. And that's what this work is to notice not only what your thoughts are, but what you believe absolutely to be true. You absolutely believe it to be true. So we're pulling out these thoughts one sentence at a time, and we're looking at them to decide if they really are true. Is there another way to look at it? And how do I want to feel, right? How do I want to feel? We get to say how we feel. We get to say. So the basic three tenets of this course is number one, you are what you think you are. You are what you think you are. If you have a thought in your brain is so amazing that it will just go searching for evidence to prove you right. You're always right in terms of what your brain does. So you want to be making sure that you have a thought that's going to resonate with the sort of reaction or the truth or the evidence or the proof that you're wanting to see. Number two tenet is life reflects you. Life reflects you. It's like a big old mirror. So you can see every relationship, every interaction that you have is really a reflection of the way you're showing up. So I'd asked you since our last phone call to sort of look and see how you're showing up. What are you noticing? Is there a lot of animosity between you and someone else? Is there a lot of sort of uncomfortableness between you and someone else? Is there sort of a lack of integrity in the way you show up in your responsibilities or the way you show up with money or, you know, start to look and see what the mirror is saying to you. And then challenge yourself not to get guilty or ashamed or those sorts of feelings. Be really curious about this. This work requires a lot of curiosity. So we're looking to see how life reflects us. What are our values? What are we putting in our homes? How are we spending our time? How are we spending our money? What are we seeing around us? And then the third thing, and the most important thing, is your natural state. Our natural state is one of love, absolute love, right? We are naturally aligned when we feel love. We talked about this in the call. What does love feel like? What does it feel like? It feels so completely whole, right? It feels so blissed, so calm, so peaceful, so big, right? So whenever we take away our love or we reject the feeling of love, we're really just harming and moving away from our natural self, right? So today's lesson, I would like you, as we talked about in the call, to spend some time just journaling out when I feel love, when I'm loving my spouse, when I'm loving my kids, when I'm loving my Mother Earth, when I'm loving my community, how do I show up? If I know that a thought becomes a word, love, and that word becomes an action, showing up loving, it becomes my character. When you feel loving, how are you showing up? And I want you to write it out, write it out, write it out, and just let yourself have some time here aligning with your most natural state. Spend a good time, 7 to 10 minutes, just writing out. When I feel loving to my partner, this is what I do. When I feel loving to myself, this is what I do. When I feel loving in my community, this is what I do. And start to see the mirror of you when you show up with love. Okay? I hope that's a benefit to you, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.